This video explains how to assemble the Coro candle from HolidayCoro. Now, you will need a variety of different items to complete this kit. The first is a Coro claw. The second is a good sharp knife, and you need either one of these. We do sell these. You'll also need hot glue. This is AdTech hot glue, and we do sell this. You will need 2 10-inch sticks approximately. Now, you will have included in your kit 2 rods. These rods affix the candle flame to the candle body. Now, also not shown here in this video is Velcro that is used to attach the candle base to a post or other type device. Now, not included in your kit are Pixel strip or Pixel modules. Now, this design is intended for use with Pixel modules, but you can use strip if you like. Now, the type of pixels that you choose to use is completely up to you. Almost universally, Pixel modules are about 3 inches, as are Pixel strip. So, adjust it as you see fit. The initial design of this is intended to be used with 15 modules, and that's what we have here. And I have just some wire hooked up that will use these with a demonstration controller. Now, when you first get your Coro candle, it will be folded in half, and that will look something like this. Now, you may notice that the backs have already been cut, and we'll show you why in just a moment here. Now, the first thing you want to do is just separate the pieces. Now, what I'm going to do is just take my knife here, and I am going to cut along this area. There's going to be some tabs that are in place. I'm just going to cut those, and that'll free the base from this top piece. Now, save all this. We do need that for our kit. Now, on the other end, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to simply just score along this line and cut it out. This is sort of like when you had model planes as a kid. Okay, this piece we do not need. It can be thrown away. All right, now what we have is we have our base. This is the Coro candle base. And what we first need to do to it is cut it with a Coro claw. Now, there are markings indicated on the sheet. You will see that there are several different lines here, and this is where we're going to score and fold. Now, between these 2 lines, right in here, we're actually going to make a variety of different cuts to make the face bend in a curve. So as you can see here, this bends. Now, the first one is going to be along this edge. Now, you're going to see little holes that are going to intersect this cut, and that's normal. So what we'll do is we're going to be making all of our cuts on the side that is not marked with the marker. So, all cuts on the blank side. All right, now what I'm going to do is just take my Coro claw. I'm going to use one of the teeth and simply put it in here, and I've got it lined up with this line, and I'm simply just going to take it along here and cut it. And now this forms one edge. Now I'll just go ahead and bend it. Now that is one side of the edge. Now what we'll do is go ahead and do the other. You can see the second one here. You just simply, again, one of the tongs in here on the back side, and just run it all the way along the end. Okay, now we have the base of the Coro candle. So what we now need to do is bend at this edge. So again, we just take the Coro claw. And now if you ever get a line where the line is kind of on between, it's maybe exactly in the middle of a rib, just use your best judgment. There is, within this design, allotment for a little bit of slop there. Okay, now we've got this edge, and the edge of the Coro candle will actually be flat. It'll be standing up. It won't be curved. Now what we need to do is we need to cut out everywhere between here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to first start by just going over here onto this side, and also, as you can see here, doing the far side to show me where I should stop. So what we're going to do is now, here's the front of the Coro Candle. All this area in between here needs to be curved. And to make that curved, what we need to do is cut the face along each one of the ribs. So I'm simply going to take my Coro Claw again, one tine, and I'm just simply going to run it along the entire length like that. Now, what I'm going to do is just keep doing that until I've cut all of these between this edge and this edge. I'll see you in just a second. Okay, now I'm back and we have cut each one of the ribs on one side. As you can see, this creates a nice, smooth, rounded area. Now what we'll be doing is we'll be taking this and then wrapping it around here. Now before we do that, we want to go ahead and attach our RGB modules. Now, one thing to be aware of is that RGB modules almost always have an in and an out, so you will need to pay close attention when you're assembling them that you're making sure that the in is coming out the base of the Coro Candle. I actually recommend assembling and testing your modules outside of the Coro Candle before mounting them. Then you'll make sure that they're going to work when you affix them in. Okay, now your modules may come with adhesive on them. That adhesive may or may not be able to be used in an outdoor environment because this candle is not 100% waterproof. So be aware of that. These have some sticky tape on the bottom, but we're going to go ahead and put hot glue down. Now, what I'm going to do, just simply put this case here. We have the little tab at the bottom. Now, you will notice, just for reference here, there is a marking here for top. The top has a little flap here that goes out the top curved area. The bottom has a flap here for the wire access that's on the bottom before the curved portion. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put my wire that comes from my controller down there, and I'm simply just going to put some glue on there. Now, these are designed for use with 15 modules, and you can see that they're marked. All you have to do is simply just push them onto the center of these markings. But if you want to use strip, that's fine. Strip is okay. Or if you want to use a different kind of module in a different spacing, that is fine too. Okay, so we're just putting all the rest of the modules on here. It doesn't take much hot glue to get these to adhere. And okay, and then the last module at the top here. Now, I have 3 modules remaining here at the bottom, or at the top of the Coro Candle, and those are going to go into the flame. Alright, now, just a little bit more information here on how this works. The area in between here, you'll see that there in this particular candle, there are slots, and this is where you would put the Velcro through. So this is 3/4 inch Velcro, and you'll put it around this on the inside, and you may want to put some hot glue in here and then put the Velcro down so that whenever it's closed up it won't fall out. Now what you'll do is you'll take the Velcro, come back around, and attach this to a pole or other suitable item. Now let's go ahead and close this up. So what we do is we take the provided zip ties, and you'll see normally there's a hole right there on the edge. Just take the zip tie, run it through, and then run it back through. So what I've done is I just simply have put the zip tie through the bottom hole and then come out through the top edge. So go ahead and do that for each one of the edges here. Now on this particular Coro candle, we have 5 different attachment spots. And by using zip ties, this allows you to, if you should need to, open this up and perform maintenance. Okay, and the last one here. All right, now what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm just going to put the remaining modules through the little flap here, because we'll be putting those into the flame portion. Okay, and let's come back here. Now you'll see that there are 2 tabs on the side and that there are 2 slots on the face. So simply just bring this up and you'll find that the tabs fit directly into the slots. And then what you do is you simply just take the zip tie, run it through the hole, and snug it up. Now it doesn't have to be super tight, just give it a little snug. So again, I take the zip tie and run it through the hole. And then that creates a nice clean edge. Now, even though that there's a cut down the middle we use for shipping, now that this is a assembled part and you have this stiff edge along the side, it's actually quite strong. Okay, and one more. So here's our cut that came in the shipping. Okay, so now we have a curved face. You can go ahead and cut off these pieces here, and you can see here's the base, and here's the back where your cable is coming out, and then along the side, or in the middle, we have where your Velcro will be. All right, so, oops, gotta put that in there. Get that in there. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to build the top here, which is going to hold our flame. Okay, now we're ready to assemble the flame for the Coro candle. Now, what we want to do is go ahead and pull these out. These will require a little bit of cutting to get them out, just like the other items. Now, you'll see that there's a base, and it has a bottom here, and it has the modules marked, and this is going to be our top. Now what we have is we have an area in between where we're going to use for diffusion, and these are going to serve that. Now what I'm going to do is take my Coro claw again, and I'm going to take this mark, and I'm just going to cut inside that mark and cut off this section. Now I'm also going to take this and cut off the bottom, so we end up with vertical panels here now. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a straight edge or a T-square in this case, and I'm simply just going to line it up with those marks on there, and I'm going to cut a nice straight line. And I'm going to only need about 4 of these panels, but I'm going to go ahead and cut out some additional ones. There are extras in here in case a mistake is made and they're not cut straight. Now these all need to be the same height. And that's 2 cuts here. All right, so now that we've completed that, you may need to a little bit more. All right, so we have our side pieces, and we can toss this. All right, now we're going to be gluing those to the base, and what we want to do is go ahead and get our coral clog in. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to start on this side, and we're going to be going around. Now this coral is of course flat, and we need to make it a curve. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just simply just going to cut every other slot. In this case, I'm going to actually cut every other slot. So I'm going to skip 2 slots because the curve is so gradual. I just need enough to make it go around the corners there. Okay. All right, so you can see here that I've now got a curve, and I've also put the marker on the inside so that it doesn't show from the outside, just for aesthetics. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and take my glue gun, put some glue on the edge, and then along the side. Now we'll just put this right on the edge here, push that up, and looks like we hit it right the first time here. Okay, now if your glue gun has an adjustable temperature setting, such as this one, you can adjust it so that if you're spending too much time holding it in place before it sets up, you can adjust the temperature down. You have less working time, but you end up having to hold it less. So what I'm going to do is just, since this area wants to bend, I'm just going to put a little tape on there to hold it in place temporarily while I do the remaining ones. So again, I'm going to just cut slots in these on one side. Gives us our curve. All right, you can see that it's going to go beyond that, and that's fine. We want to leave that so it goes beyond. And what I'm going to do this time, there's another way to do it. I'm just going to put it on the base. And we're going to go ahead and take our Coro section here, put it together, and you can see that it's going together quite nicely. All right, we're just going to let that overshoot on the side here so that it comes out the top, and that's fine. And now we're going to go ahead and start on the other side. Now this time we're going the other direction, so what we're going to do is go ahead and cut these outside. Okay, so you can see it's going to go around just fine. All right, and I'll put some glue on here on the edge, and then along the base. Now I'm just going to wet my finger here and run it along the base. That cleans up any kind of glue, makes it a little cleaner. Okay, so we're almost done here. All right, so now we just have this other side, and we can see that one panel is going to be sufficient. So, going to go again. Okay, and this is going to go in here like that. And flip the side here. And put that in there. Okay, now I've got that attached, and what we're going to do is, after this dries just a minute, what we're going to do is come back and cut off the tip, And before we put the top on, we need to make sure that the modules are inside. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we're going to do, take our modules here and our rods. Now there are little indicators as to where to put the rods, and you'll see these on the back. You'll see two little holes, and just try to get them close to there. And we're going to slide that down in the other one here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, you'll also see that there's some holes here, and I'm just going to line those up. Now before I close it all the way, okay, now we're going to put the modules through here. And we're just going to go ahead and push it all the way down onto the base. So you can see there. Now what we need to do is go ahead and put some glue. And again, just attach the modules. Okay. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and cut off the edge. And I'm just going to look down there, look at the point, and cut that off. And then cut this one off. Okay, we'll hit that with a little bit of hot glue. Give it a little bit of tape to hold it in place. And now what we're going to do is go ahead and put our top on. And this is pretty simple. All we have to do is simply go around the side. And come back around over here. Slide this into there. And you may need to just push it in there, hold it in so that they line up perfectly. Okay, and once this sets up, we'll be set. And you'll be ready to go ahead and use your HolidayCoro Candle. Thanks for watching.